Just wait for it and look at the 703 that he will take from half the damage from the stun.
It doesn't make
It's
any sense,
ridiculous.
does it? But again, if you put increased crit damage, the buff increased crit damage
Yes.
on the person that's being protected,
Yes.
your own teammate,
Yes.
you take more damage.
Yes.
Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is another Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, this is a highlight video from a stream I did with iAanG, another content creator. He's got a YouTube channel and he's a streamer. I will pin that stuff below. He has found out some pretty ridiculous stuff about ally protection and about the way that works in Clan Boss, which has helped him to create teams which are doing absolutely insane damage. The work that he's done is a bit mathematical and that type of stuff, but actually watch the video, watch this in full, and you will find out some crazy stuff about Raid. I don't even know if it's stuff that Raid themselves know. If they do, then it's weird. But anyway, guys, enjoy the video. I'll let this one roll on.
If you wanna show the builds first.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Lydia is like necessary for the increased speed buff, and she has a little bit of damage. She has accuracy to put decrease attack and decrease defense and weaken, and to put block damage, buffs. Block buffs is very important. So the clan boss don't get the increased attack on him. And yes, this defense is more than enough.
So 2,500 defense.
Yes.
Because of Brago.
Yes, this was like Victor's task finding mostly at 400 and 4,200 defense. You almost cap what you can mitigate through defense. So with 2,500 defense, you add 500 from Brago, you multiply that by 1.6 from increased defense, and her defense grows to like 4,800, and I'm well above the 4,200 that is needed for the cap of the damage mitigation by defense.
So this is the interesting thing, because so when we were going back probably 18 months when I first started doing takeovers and like building people's clan boss teams for them. And I was always saying, get yourself to a minimum of 3.5k defense. But at that point, we didn't really have champions that are able to consistently keep increased defense up. We didn't have comps which were running on a 2-for-1 where you're recycling your increased defense buff. So it was almost like that was a base defense level that we needed to stay alive. Whereas nowadays, we've got way cleverer comps, better champions, if you've got the right champions anyway, and I can completely understand your logic. Yeah. But it still seems weird. It
seems very weird. Like Toragi, go to Toragi. Toragi is my ally protection champion. He is like taking a lot of damage. He's protecting everyone, and 2,300 defense.
Wow. Absolutely insane. You're not even capped on these champions either. That's mad.
Like Toragi, I didn't focus on putting crit rates because he needed a ton of HP. So I'm rocking HP boots, and so like I didn't focus him on damage. He's there to give a good shield because his shield is 15%. So I needed his HP like super high. And I needed the defense, I needed the speed, and I needed the accuracy with a stalwart set. Because stalwart, the crazy thing is, stalwart on the defender, on the protector, does not affect the damage that you get from ally protection. So it would be actually...
So it's literally just reducing the damage on you.
Yes, but as he takes a lot of damage... and I really need him to be the tankiest guy in the comp. The stalwart is very good on him. But I'm thinking to change his masteries because he has defense masteries for I don't know what it's called in English, the mastery that protects you 5% and 6%. Yeah, delay death, 6%, and the other one is 5%.
The blast proof.
Yes, blast proof. Yes. So I'm thinking that he's surviving enough, and I'm thinking to move his second tree of masteries to support to maybe get a little bit more of poisons.
Let me just ask again. I just want to clarify something. That's probably quite interesting for a lot of people watching. What number of defense then are you aiming for as a minimum? Let's say you don't have Brago in the team, but let's say you're able to keep increased defense up the whole time.
Okay.
Or in fact, you only need to keep increased defense up for the AoE hits, don't you? So it might be you got someone that's got it on a 3-turn cooldown.
Yeah, if you can take the stun with a high defense target, because the stun you can like almost direct the stun, right? So if you can take the stun to a high defense target, a target that has 4,200 defense or above, you don't need increased defense for the stun. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And for the rest of your team then, so let's assume you've got increased defense up for both of the AoEs constantly.
Yeah.
What defense number are we saying then is the kind of cap before you start just plowing into HP?
Without Brago, I think I would go through 2,700.
Yeah. Because you get 1.6 on that. You times that by 1.6, and you're going to end up close to, what, 4.2-ish? Is that right?
Yeah, 4.2, 4.3, something like that.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's way lower than I've always built teams, but it's super interesting actually. Yeah, I like it.
We can switch to Brago really quick. So for the guy that is taking the stun is based on your HP, the max HP from the target. So if you're using a shield, it is better to lower the HP of the stun target.
Yes.
Because then the damage taken by this target will be lower, and the shield can take it. But you will make this target with less survivability for the AoE. So you have to take care of this. It's that kind of
blend between the two, isn't it? It's the balance between being able to handle the AoEs, but also handle the stun. And actually, the first time I really saw someone playing around with this was Murder Inc. a long time ago. And he was going to the point where he was actually taking helms off his champions because they still had kind of too much HP and they were dying to that stun hit. And I was like, wow, this is, it was the first time I'd seen someone really kind of play around with that stun mechanic. So a lot of people don't realize that the stun hit is a bit like a Heartseeker. So the higher that HP of your champion, the more damage you take. A bit like when the Heartseeker does more damage the further you get on against bosses. Yeah, the stun hit is exactly the same as that.
Yeah, awesome.
Cool. Okay, so your Brago then, let's just quickly run through. So you've got high defense here, 5k. So you're giving everyone just over 500 defense added in. High crit, because we know that
actually, not everyone, because I found out that Brago does not increase his own defense.
Oh, okay. That's interesting. How do you find that out?
Because the damage from the stun does not have, it does not vary. It does not vary. I don't know how to pronounce it. It does not.
That makes sense. It doesn't vary. Yeah, so it's consistent.
It doesn't vary. Yeah. So because all the damage in this game varies 10% more or 10% less, but the damage inflicted by the clan boss in the stun does not. So, I created a calculator to see how far will your comp endure in battle against clan boss. We can show it.
Yeah, that sounds cool. So you punch in your defense in your HP, and
you punch everything in, and it calculates where you will die.
That's actually ridiculous. Awesome.
I've been working on this for the past 6 months.
Sure, that's super cool, man.
And then when I was testing it, when Brago got hit from the stun, I was looking at my calculator and the number was different, and I was like, "What? No, it cannot be different because my calculator is spot on. Like, if it is different on the AoEs, okay, because the AoEs damage vary, but the stun does not. And then I took off his extra defense that he would apply to himself, and then the numbers just aligned. So
okay, so talk us through your next champion.
Yeah, we can go to Brogni. Brogni needs a good attack because his shield extension is based on the damage applied. So I focused on getting him a little bit of attack, a good attack, a good crit, 100% crit rate. So my survivability does not vary because if he on turn 80, if he doesn't crit, I'm dead.
Right,
so
okay.
100 crit rate is very important, and okay, crit damage with 255 speed is kind of difficult for me. A good point to make is that I needed to put him in fairly good HP because on my comp for the stun, the only shield that is applied is his shield, and his shield is based on his HP. If you have a Valkyrie, you don't have to put him on good HP because the shield that is being applied is always Valkyrie with his extension. But as I don't have a Valkyrie for the 3-turn duration shield, I need him to put the shield before the stun. So I need him to give it at least an okay shield.
So is he your only form of healing?
Yes.
So he's your shield and healing?
Yes, shield, healing, damage,
wow.
Block debuffs.
What a champion, guys. Brogni, what a champion he has become. Like, people knew that he was good when we were fusing him, but he's now become, as people have really got to play with him, like, so insanely strong.
My 5th is Sandlash Survivor.
Oh, it's Sandlashed. Okay.
It's very hard when you're trying to put things together. If I could choose a champion to pull, like right now, I would choose Martyr.
Martyr, really?
With Martyr, I'm sure I can reach like 140 million.
Why Martyr over Valk then?
Because the way my comp is working is like, I don't want to sound cocky, but it is like perfect. Like every piece falls in a place that it should, and every champion is helping the other champion. And Martyr, I would sub for Brago. Because I can, with Martyr and Sandlash, I could still make increased defense for all the AoEs and stun, and I could have counterattack. And if I don't book Martyr's A3, as I'm which then stays at 6-turn cooldown, and as I'm going 2-1, the rotation is 6 turns, so I can always hit the decreased attack from Martyr before the AoE 1, so I still keep the decreased attack.
So Sandlash, then, one of the things that's quite interesting here is I was expecting to see kind of crazy gear going on, but we've got like 2 rare pieces, we've got a 5-star piece here. I'm not saying it's not good gear, but this is not crazy gear by any stretch. This is reasonable. I'd say it's reasonable gear. So obviously strung together and the right speed tune, all that type of stuff, but certainly not ridiculous. Okay, cool. Well, should we get it running? Should we get people?
I think we should get it running, and then because it's 35 minutes of run. It's not.
So we can show some other stuff once it gets onto auto mode. We can show some of your tools and stuff like that. For me, this is super cool. So one of my absolute passions has always been Clan Boss, and I think Clan Boss has got a little bit stale because we've almost unlocked it. So when I see some stuff which is new or interesting for me, or kind of gets me sparking some new ideas for what I could do with my comps, this is like perfect. This is what I love. Really cool to get people on that got some slightly different ideas. Right, iAanG, let's do this.
Yeah, Brago in the lead because I need him to take the stun. And I need him to take the stun because he's the only one that keeps the ally protection throughout the stun.
Right, is he? Okay. Okay, cool. So we're good to go, yeah?
Yeah.
So is there any affinity where the stun starts moving around that
red affinity is a pain. Red affinity is a pain. Yeah, it's quite a long setup for green. I actually don't advise a lot of people, you can go for A3 with Brego. I don't advise a lot of people to build the same comp, like, because it's a hard comp to understand and to use. But if people want, it's a very cool comp. Like,
Sure.
it's more like go for A3.
A3, yeah.
It's more like a cool comp, a wonder.
Yeah, it's just cool to experiment with these things, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not a practical comp. As I said, Bat Eater, in my experience, is still the best comp for clan boss, but this is more fun. We have to remember that this comp does not have counterattack or unkillable, and the result is like, for a known counterattack and unkillable, this comp is like insane. Okay.
What's quite interesting to me is we're not actually doing crazy amount of damage per turn here. Obviously, this is going to last a long time.
And it's auto. You can hit auto now.
Auto from there, cool. Okay, so so the comp which I ran, which is obviously based on the same type of idea to this, but I didn't have Brogni in the mix at the time. And Taragi was kind of didn't even exist, but mine was more about hitting as hard as I could in the time that I had. Whereas it feels like you've gone a different angle, probably similar to what Victor does, I guess, in terms of staying alive for much longer, but having less damage per turn, I guess.
Yeah, the damage per turn is not that high because I don't have counterattack. But
true, yeah.
The further I go through the turns, the higher my damage per turn will go, because the clan boss hits harder, and the harder the clan boss hits, the harder the Brogni's passive reflects it back to the clan boss. So
okay, yeah. That's something which I've been meaning to do, but I've not done yet, is a Geomancer and Brogni in the same team.
Yeah. I'm
two of them are just ridiculous.
Yeah, I really want a Geomancer.
Yeah, me too. I've actually got someone else who's built one out for me to give it a try, because it feels like Geomancer, similar to Brogni, they're just both borderline broken. How strong that reflect ability is with the amount of Giant Slayer procs you can get.
Yeah, for sure. Would you like to bring the calculator?
Yeah.
I think the Deadwood calculator is the calculator is insane, but showing the calculator for my team is very important, because everything has to fall in the right place. Because that's why this setup is too long. And the first thing that we should see is where the extensions from Sandlash actually happened. And that's why the setup is so long, because I need 4-turn delay on Lydia, and I need the Brogni to block the decrease speed buff. So if you go like to turn, I don't know, 12 or I think it's 12 when it fully syncs.
Yeah, so basically you're manualing up until this point, aren't you? At the end of turn 10, or just before turn 10, to make sure that you get the things coming in line. So where you're doing stuff like the A1s on Brogni, which weren't going to be his kind of normal skill, is that adapted on this at all? Or have you got it?
No, it's impossible. Yeah, it's impossible to adapt for the calculator, to see it on the calculator. Because like there is you use his A3 on the first turn, and then you use it on the fourth turn. So you don't use it on the turn 2, and then you use it on the turn 4, and you use it on the second turn in the 7th turn.
Yeah.
On his second turn, on the 7th turn.
So
and
you
then
have to watch
on the 9th turn.
That kind of setup video to really get a feel for how you... Because this will show you when stuff starts to sync, but it probably doesn't show you the actual abilities to do after that.
Only for green, because for Void and Magic, I put it on auto on turn 3 after using A2 with Lydia.
So you do a different setup to what this is showing?
No, I just do this exactly setup. For Magic...
I see what you're saying, yeah, okay.
Yeah, for Magic and for Void. But for Spirit, I have to keep moving the A3 of Brogni to block the decreased speed.
So we've showed by far the hardest setup that you've got.
Yeah, for sure.
One thing I try and explain to people that are building these unkillable teams or clan boss teams themselves, and they're trying to use this calculator for the first time, what you need to get your head around is, does the pattern make sense? So you can see when things start to sink in, because actually you start to get everybody getting At the moment, everyone apart from Brado's got a turn here, or here you've got one person missing again. But then you get to this point, turn 12, and everybody's getting their double turns. Double turn, double turn, right across the board. And you'll see if you've got a mistake, because it just won't look like this. It'll be all over the place. It won't have this kind of beautiful, symmetrical pattern. So we're on turn count 39. So remember, whenever I tell people about Clan Boss Ultra Nightmare on a normal team, I'm like, guys, after turn 20, 25, this Clan Boss starts to hit really hard. Like, he starts to really pile out some damage at turn 20. So we're at turn 40 now, with no other healing other than Brogni. But that's a bit that's blowing my mind, to be honest.
Take a look on Toragi in Toragi when the stun happens. The damage he will take. Just wait for it and look at the 703 that he will take from half the damage from the stun.
It doesn't make any sense, does it? Do you reckon it's something to do with shields?
No,
it is
off
shield.
Shields. No, shield. Yeah. It removes it from the shield, but the shield doesn't affect it.
So he was literally taking then a 20. He was taking 5% of the damage that Brogni took, not 50.
The best part is it's not a percentage. It's always 703.
So the stun, if he's ally protecting the stun, Brado's taking 50% of the damage that he should.
Yeah.
But Toragi is only taking 703 damage every time, even though he's taking half the damage.
Yeah.
That makes no sense at all, does it?
No.
And does that work the same for AoE hits?
Yes, it does.
That is bizarre. Do you know, by the way, does this work outside of Clan Boss?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't because the interaction is with the Clan Boss passive.
So if someone is hitting in the arena into an ally protect, it's still just a straight 50-50. That person's taking 50%.
Kind of. Like, ally protection is super weird. Things that I can say for sure that I tested. It's like the damage is taken fully by the protected and then halved, and then it throws to the protector. If I can make sense of some examples, like let's say we are on blue Clan Boss, and the blue Clan Boss hits Brago, and it gets a strong hit. Yeah? The strong hit, it will go to the protector, even though my protector is blue affinity. So
we'll
let's say
count the original person that's getting hit's affinity for weak or strong.
When you hit a stronger affinity, you deal 20% less damage, right?
Yeah.
If we were to go against a red Clan Boss, even on a normal hit that Brago takes, it still pass along 20% less damage.
Even if he doesn't do a weak hit?
Yes. And if he does a weak hit, it passes along the weak hit as well.
Wow.
But the crazy things really happen when the protected gets critted, because the crit passes along as well. But the multiplier for the critical damage that the protector takes makes not a single sense. I on my stream yesterday, we spent 4 hours testing this over and over and over again. I spoke to HD Senti so we could maybe make some sense of the numbers, and we couldn't have a single clue. It doesn't make any sense. Like, I recorded a run against Void, so it doesn't get affected by many things. And as you can see, the damage, another thing about ally protection, and this is very important, is like the ally protection does not vary the damage. Like, if the Clan Boss, if someone hits me hits my protected for 20k, like let's say, like a Trenda hits my protected, and Trenda hits 2 times, right?
Yeah.
So the first hit hits 20k, and the second hit hits 22k on the protected. The protector will take the same damage on both instances of attack. Because
so if one hits for 20, one hits for 22.
On my protected, and the protector will take 2 times the damage, twice the same damage. It will not take different damage. Although my protected takes different damage.
That's weird.
In Clan Boss, what happens is, as it
Hello,
ignores
Bonfire.
the passive, it will take Toragi will take the same damage throughout the whole fight. And the weirder is, like, all my champions have the same damage mitigation mechanisms except their defense. Like, they have the same masteries, they have the same sets, defense mitigation sets. Like, no one has stalwarts, only Toragi, right? So they all, against Void, they all pass the same damage through Toragi.
When the stun's going in, he takes the 700 instead of 3,500 or whatever it should be. When the AoEs are hitting, is he taking a very low amount of damage there as well, or is he taking the right amount of damage?
Yes, in my team, with this comp, with this setup, with this damage mitigation stuff and such, against Void, AoE 1 always do 666 damage against Toragi, and the AoE 2 always 799. I recorded a full run. I assume
it's not just Toragi. This is anyone who's got ally protect,
every ally protection. So I recorded.
Sorry, I just want to say, this makes complete sense to me now. Why Victor has been able to push his numbers so crazy high.
Yeah, of course.
Because he's always been running with double ally protect.
Yeah, for sure. Because, like, of course, for AoE 1, the first Krisk, let's say, is taking like the damage from everyone, like this little bit of damage from everyone, and the other Krisk is taking the damage from the first Krisk, and the AoE 2 it switches. But I mean, you take damage on turn 120, bro, you are not surviving if you don't have ally protection, because ally protection like takes like half this damage and throws out the window, because on turn 120, 600 damage is nothing.
Sure, that's actually ridiculous. So actually, for anybody who's trying to build one of these, let's call it a one-key team, really. One-key team that doesn't have unkillable mechanics. If you do not have ally protect up the whole time, it's near impossible to do. Not impossible, but to get to a like crazy team, like a 100 million team, you basically have got to have ally protect running throughout the whole of it to sustain the damage that's coming in.
Yeah, for sure. Like to go to up above from like turn 60 is like very hard. You have to you need to have a insane Valkyrie with shield extension from Brogni or something to survive. Like, it's very, very hard.
Because where I started to die actually was probably around, I'd done more damage than this, but it was around this turn count. I think my stun target was just getting one shot by this point.
Yeah, and
but
my
I didn't have ally
taking half damage
to help him. So you've kept your ally protect up basically the whole time, which is always protecting half the damage, but you're not taking half the damage. It's really interesting. Do you know if Guardian set has the same weird mechanic in Clan Boss? So if they were all wearing Guardian set, would the protected damage be reduced in the same way?
Yeah, I heard that this is the way it works. I don't have nearly good. I don't have even good Guardian sets to test it, but I will for sure. This is like insane, man. But if you ally protects everyone, so everyone takes half the damage, and the protector takes like this little bit of twinkling. And if you put everyone on Guardian set, you reduce everyone's damage by 10% for every Guardian set, and then everyone takes this little bit of twinkling damage. It's like it will be.
If everybody's wearing a Guardian set, and I'm seeing here actually, Senti in the chat and Sophia, both crazy big brain individuals, saying it's coded the same. So if everybody's wearing a Guardian set and you've got Ally Protect running, which I guess is what Victor is doing for his latest kind of crazy 300 million efforts, right? So are we saying then Ally Protect is the best skill in the game for Clan Boss?
For sure. No, I think Unkillable is like it protects you more than Ally Protection.
Well, yeah, but Unkillable only protects you up to turn 50.
Yeah, for sure.
Like,
no,
right now you'd be dead with Unkillable.
No doubt about it. Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt about
That's
it.
really interesting. And
'Cause
actually, there's not that many. As you said, you found it hard to find someone who's done a sub in, and really cool. Actually, you found someone who's completely different to what I've really seen being used at all with this sort of level of team. But there's very few Ally Protect champions in the game
yeah.
that can do it for your whole team and actually bring some other utility that's worth having.
Like I'm suggesting people to build their rear guards now, just because of ally protection.
But let's be clear. Some people are saying don't put this into a video; it's going to get nerfed. If you think people in Plarium actually do stuff that they see in my videos, guys, then please look back over my videos for the last 2 years. But there's a good chance. Let's be clear. This is a bug. This is bugged, right? Like it's possible this changes if they work out how to fix it.
Yeah, bro. Like, if you look at War Master's text, it says when you use an ability, you have 30% chance of doing damage. And Brogni is there, man. Like,
Yeah.
and they stated clearly that Brogni is not a bug. So,
but I think we've at least as a group have decided that they can't really fix what they've done to Brogni without fundamentally having to change a lot of shield mechanics or making his mechanic work differently to other shields in the game. Which,
yeah, that could
which
be.
is cool. It pretty much means that he's going to stay as he is. They can't fix that. Like Geomancers, they might tweak, I think, at some point. Because I'm pretty sure, and we're going back a long time, but I'm pretty sure that War Chief used to kind of do what Geomancer does.
No, it used to do what Brogni does.
Oh,
Not with
okay.
shield, but yeah, it would proc the masteries and stuff. Here is where Godseeker and Eerie would be so much better for my comp, because now like Brago and Lydia are kind of getting low and not being able to recover from clan boss hit fully.
Yeah.
So if I had Godseeker and Eerie, it would be very good, because Godseeker and Eerie has good healings.
Where would you put her in this team?
Instead of Sandlash Survivor, because Godseeker and Yuri also have buff extender.
So Sandlash, you're not. So Sandlash, I saw there just save someone's life with the Ally Protect block damage.
Yeah.
Potentially save someone's life anyway, but you don't need a second person with Ally Protect in this team.
Yeah, no,
you do.
No, I don't.
Because so Taragi's doing that enough.
Yeah, because even though like what Sandlash did, it was like he put her ally protection over Toragi's ally protection. So
yeah,
actually, she did nothing. She only protects her.
All she's done is put a block damage on herself. She's not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So,
but I mean, 100 million, no unkillable, no counterattack.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, I've got the bones of this team. I've actually got Godseeker and Eerie. But I was thinking maybe but can I bring Valk or Martyr in? But then you lose a lot of damage. I feel like Brago's probably doing a good share of your damage here.
Yeah, you cannot replace Brago. Like, no, yeah, actually Brago, yeah, you can replace Brago for Martyr. I think the damage that Brago brings is very good, but I think Martyr would hit a little bit less, but the counter attack is like insane, because you would, like, we're on turn 85. You divide this for 3, like 30, 60. You would have 60 more attacks per champion. Like,
sure, yeah. And someone's saying could Ultan replace Brago?
Yeah, I think so.
Simple answer is yes. I think he doesn't get the passive, so you'd have to pick your defense up a bit more. But I think that's a kind of a given.
Yeah, for sure. Because like with the Sandlash, you can make any 3-turn cooldown, 3-turn cooldown, 2-turn duration increase defense work, because you extend that with Sandlash. You just have to put the ability on the right spot for the scene.
I just see someone's asking in chat there, Skipper, surely Sandlash damage would make her better than Godseeker, but actually Godseeker hits hard.
Yeah,
Godseeker
harder
does
than
work.
Yeah, no, so. Godseeker definitely hits harder than Sandlash.
Yeah.
And someone asked about Skullcrusher. Like, Skullcrusher would be very good. I still intend to test it, but I would have to change the setup because I would have to choose someone to not have a shield somewhere, because I need Toragi's shield to have shields everywhere. So I would have to like forgo someone's shield somewhere. Maybe it will deal more damage, but I don't know. Can I hit 120? I'd never hit 120.
Is this your record right now?
My record was 160.
Wow,
116. 116. That's a record.
Sweet. That's because I did a few tweaks for you when you wasn't looking.
Yeah,
That's
for sure. The only way this comp really works in my head is this way, or with Krisk instead of Lydia and Valkyrie instead of Toragi.
Yeah.
Oh, almost.
119.92. Damn, that's good. Let's have a look at the damage numbers here. So we got 27 mil from Brago. He does hit hard. 27. Toragi doing a pretty respectable, near enough 20 mil.
Yeah, poisons.
Yeah, that's I guess you're fighting for so long. That's pretty impressive, actually. And then you've got Lydia, 17. So Lydia, we've said here, is pretty fundamental unless you bring a different increased speed that is kept up the whole time, right?
Yes. You can work not the same speeds, but you can work like a likely comp with Archmage Helmet. It's not as good as with Lydia, because Lydia brings a lot more. But yeah,
because the strengthen buff is actually, when you get towards the end there, reducing 25% of the damage straight.
Yes,
that's a lot. That's a huge amount across the board. So everyone's just taking 25% less damage. So that's actually fairly difficult to replace. Or if you replace her, like you say, the comp becomes something else. It probably becomes something like a Mashaled.
Yes,
with
and people and people don't even think that deep. But if you think about what Lydia is doing, yes, it is putting us 2-1. It is putting us with strengthen, but it is also getting the decreased defense and weaken. And with decreased defense and weaken, I can get a higher shield from Brogni and then survive even more. Like as I said, this comp is a puzzle that is put together like on the details.
Yeah, it's awesome. And then Sandlash has done 21, nearly 22 mil. I actually feel like Godseeker does more damage than that.
Yeah, for sure. No, for sure. I don't have a single doubt. And then what I notice is like the critical damage, the amount the critical damage is dealt to the protected is different from the protector. Like we are taking like 666 damage, right? And Clan Boss actually has a 50% critical damage. So if I got hit on 10k, I should be hit on 15k, right?
Sure.
But then the damage on Toragi instead of 666 would be like 2k, which makes not a single sense.
So what? So someone else's crit, instead of taking the 666, he's taking 3 times that much damage.
Yeah, but that varies a lot. I did a lot of testing. I spent 4 hours testing this with different champions, different stuff, and it changes a lot depending on the protected, depending on the protector, and depending on who is hitting. And this is the craziest part. If you put increase crit damage on the protected, the protector takes more damage.
So again, if you put increased crit damage, the buff increased crit damage.
Yes.
On the person that's being protected.
Yes.
Your own teammate.
Yes.
You take more damage.
Yes.
I don't get that one. I can't even begin to understand that one.
And I found out that completely random. I was testing this on Dragon 16 because it's void, and I was using Toragi and I was using Lydia, so a faceless. Using his HU, so he doesn't ignore defense. Hits my Lydia for like a damage. I don't know the number. And then I was thinking, okay, what if I decrease the crit damage of this face? And I thought, okay, let's use Whirling, because Whirling decreases defense. and I decrease the decreases crit damage.
damage.
So I use the ability, I decrease the crit damage on the faceless, and then I take more damage. And I was like, what the hell? I took more damage from decreasing your crit damage? What? And then I started testing, and people was like, okay, use other decrease crit damage champions. And we use Ursuga, and Ursuga also has a decreased crit damage. And I decreased the crit damage, and nothing changed. So I was, okay, let's use Archmage helmets.
When you say nothing changed, are you saying that it did decrease the crit damage that you took or not?
No, it didn't.
Not at all.
Not at all. So if I decrease the defense of the enemy, the damage doesn't change. But when I use Archmage Helmet, which puts increased crit damage on my team, but does not decrease the crit damage of the enemy, I took more damage.
So you got a bug that's basically it sounds like the buffs and debuffs are working the wrong way around.
but look at this. And then I pick Lydia. I increased her crit damage, not by buff, but by gear, and the damage didn't change. So it only interacts with the crit damage buff, but not the crit damage itself on the champion.
Weird. So are you worried then, because if they start delving into this stuff, it sounds like there's just a whole bunch of bugs going on. If they start delving in, are you worried that it's trying to kill your team, kill ally protection and all of that type of stuff?
I don't know if I have any like neurons left to test more of this.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's super interesting. I mean, it's a lot of work that you've done here to understand this. Bear in mind, this game's been out for
hella one boom, hella one boom, hella
what, 3 years
boom,
now?
hella one
2.5 years, whatever. And this is the first I've seen, and maybe some people know behind the scenes and whatever. Maybe they do. I've not seen it myself. It's the first I've seen of somebody understanding Ally Protect in the way that you have, and actually understanding how some of these comps are making insane damage numbers and lasting for so long. So I've always understood that Ally Protect is strong to have, but I didn't really get why it was making my teams last longer to the point that they were. Certainly didn't know that it was belittling the damage that was coming into you. I thought it was just a better spread of damage against someone that was a tankier unit. So props really for the work you've done there, man. It's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, I found out the ally protection thing when I put up the first iteration of my calculator, and my ally protector was dying on turn 10. Because if you take half damage of 4 champions, you are definitely dying on turn
exactly
20.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah, and this is the other thing. I couldn't understand how Victor was making his champions last hundreds of turns. I was just like, I just don't get how he's doing it. I don't get how it's possible. But that makes a ton more sense, especially if he's putting this Guardian gear on, which is making it even less damage coming in. Awesome stuff. So I guess 2 things really, for those that have not been here for the whole time, 2 things to pull out from this are, if you can keep increased defense up on your clan boss team for the duration of the fight, then you can build champions with way less defense than we used to think. 2.5k is what Brogny's running here. We just lasted, what was that, 98 turns? 2.5k. Yeah. You've got 2.3k, like really low numbers, which means that you can throw your HP up much higher to make you last longer. So that's the first thing, is the defense numbers that we've been working to are probably over-egged. We've over-egged it because we've based it on not having increased defense on our team for the duration of fights. And the second thing is, ally protection is broken. and if you could keep ally protect up for a whole fight, then the person who's taking the damage from the protected damage is not taking the full level of damage. He's taking like a wee snippet of the damage. Damn, man, that's awesome stuff. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing what you've been doing. That's awesome.
My pleasure, bro. My pleasure. Like when I found out the all these things, I was like, okay, I have to redeem another showcase on Hell Hades. And when I was putting this comp together, I was like, okay, maybe if I hit one key, I'm happy with the comp. And then like 70 million, 80 million, 90 million, I was like, what the hell? No counterattack, no
Yeah, it's so cool, man.
unkillable. And I
Basically,
was like, okay,
120
I have
mil,
to show this.
120. Someone said to me the other day in stream, actually, can you get to a 1 key, or no, it wasn't even that. Can you get to like a 2 key Ultra Nightmare without counterattack and without unkillable? And I was like, it's possible, but you need some really good champions. And you know what? You've used some good champions here. You've used Lydia. She's so hard to get. You've obviously got Brogni, but he was a fusion. And you've got Brago, who was a fusion.
Yeah.
So Lydia's the only one out of those, which is super hard to get. But actually, providing you did the fusions, obviously. And then you've got 2 epics in there. 120 million. It's kind of gross. Kind of gross, man. I love it. I love it. I want to try some stuff out myself, actually. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah,
cool.
that's what I want. That's what I want. I want people to test and build and be happy with new comps.
Yeah, for sure. Look, a few people are asking about your channel and streaming and stuff like that. So do you just want to talk through? I know that you don't do it all in English, although I think last time you came on, you said you might be doing some of that. So do you just want to explain to people what you do and perhaps post up your channels?
Yeah, for sure. I do YouTube 3 to 5 videos a week. And it is full Portuguese. My YouTube is full Portuguese. I was maybe going to make another YouTube channel with English, but I didn't have the time because I have another job, I have a school, I have a wife and everything. But my Twitch is actually Portuguese and English. So I speak what the chat is speaking. I speak mostly Portuguese because most of my community is Portuguese, but it's Brazilian/Portuguese. But like Layla Fox raids me sometimes, and when she does, like a lot of English speaking people come to my Twitch, and I really don't mind. I love speaking English. I do a lot of account takeovers. I do on stream. I do a lot of content like this. Like I was born in Hell Hades YouTube channel for raids. Like you were the first guy that I followed, and your passion about clan boss definitely grew my passion about clan boss. So brilliant. I'm always working on some clan boss takeover or some clan boss stuff.
Nice, man. Well, look, thanks for coming on. Appreciate you giving up so much time. It's been really good fun, actually. It's been really good fun to dive into something different and seeing someone like really push a team to its limit, I'd say. Really cool, man.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks a lot.
Awesome, guys. Look, hope you enjoyed that. iAanG has taught me a lesson on Clanbus today, and I'm going to try and put it to good work over the next few days myself and see what I can do. But yeah, man, thanks again for coming on.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you later.